Brian is a total power banker. Just don't let Mike charge them. Miss Worm, we always thank her, but it's not enough cause she's a gem. The UK prepper never will survive with a bond that can endure. When your only goal's to stay alive, real Coca-Cola is the cure. And he is about to saddle the tiger when he's not aboard his UFO. Barry's out with his Geiger, counting rads that made his beard go. The UK prepper network will survive with a bond that can endure. When your only goal's to stay alive, real Coca-Cola is the cure. World survival is our mission. Out in rivers, careful stepper. Alan led with his vision. Defo still no prepper. Hawkins, hacking Hawkins. We've seen his face and let's just say it's enough to take to your eyes with pins. And of course his radio skills pay the way. The UK Prepper Network will survive with a bond that can really hit. When your only goal's to stay alive, Mike took way too long riding this shit.
We're back. We're back. 2026. We're back with a Fireside. We've got a full panel. Awesome. Glad to be back. Sorry about the long intro. I did make a shorter one, but then YouTube banned me for it, so I've got to make another one. So you'll have to deal with it. Welcome back, Brian. Scottish Prep 73. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm thrilled to be going back to work tomorrow.
I can see the excitement in your eyes. It's infectious. Something's infectious anyway. Andy, the Bombardier, how you doing?
Yep, all good, mate. Yourself?
I'm good. Waiting on this apparent snow bomb that's apparently hitting right now. Barry, your beard's gone again. Oh, it's Steve. Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Nice. Always nice.
It's more than the beard that's gone.
Yeah.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm all right. Kettle's on the go. Could be without a cup of tea.
Excellent. And Alan, the world survivalist, good to see you again. You're going for the beard yourself now.
I'm going for a little bit of the post-Christmas sort of look, because I'm back at work now as well. So,
so just
run down and all that. Happy New Year, everybody.
It's the can't be asked look.
Yeah.
Great to see so many people in the chat already. We've nearly got 100 people in there already. Make sure the first thing you do is whichever channel you're watching on. There's 4 channels streaming it right now. Smash like on that channel. Really appreciated. And we've got Hawkins Hackins, who's changed his names to Hawkins Hackins, which I really appreciate that. Moderating, as well as Evil Girl. And we've got, of course, Miss Worm O'Brien. I'm so sorry.
I don't need this shit.
You're ready to say I was waiting. Right. So into a new year. We survived 2025 despite, many YouTubers saying we wouldn't, and we're not in our bunkers and stuff like that. So we managed to get through. So going into 2026. So my first thing I want to know is we're going straight into 2026 with an attack on Venezuela, with China surrounding Taiwan, a giant frosty cold snap coming in, stuff like that. Brian, what do we need to prep for 2026? What do you see? This is your time to get your Mystic Brian predictions out.
Prep for the immediate threats first, which would be weather. Every year is a disaster. Every year it's doom and gloom from one channel or another, like you'd said the other night on your own video. And it's true. You get kind of numb to the warnings. But I don't think we can afford to be complacent, because this time the low weather, the low depression and high pressure ranges are all intermingling and caused all the problems last January. We could be heading for the perfect storm of low wind across Europe and freezing temperatures for a prolonged period of time. And if that happens, we've got problems. Right? We've got an issue in terms of power heating and all that good stuff. And to be honest, see if we don't, God willing, nothing happens. What have you lost? You might have got an extra heater, some blankets, some food, whatever. It's you pay for car insurance, and I hope you never had a car crash in 2025, but you still paid for it. So this should be the same. Every prep for every perceived threat, we should keep doing it. It doesn't matter if it never happens. It doesn't matter. You don't want to be in a car crash either. So got to change how we think.
Yeah. So shocker, Brian's prepping for power outages in 2026. Just shock news, big diversion there.
Firstly, that one. Firstly.
Andy, going into 2026, there's also talks of like conscription and stuff like, military gap year, stuff like that. Are you prepping any different going into the new year? Or are you planning to?
Not in the sense of that, mate. I mean, I'm deaf in my left ear, so they wouldn't take me back anyway. Even if they could.
All artillery are deaf, right? They just got to play things louder.
So in terms of, I mean, to be fair, mate, you know, if we're going down the route of conscription, then maybe a lot of standards will get eased, and maybe they would have me back in. So in terms of that, mate, I'm not. And it'd be interesting to see if they move forward with the military gap year.
Yeah. I don't see anyone taking it. The generation they're trying to appeal to, I just don't see any of them going, oh, that sounds like a good option. I'm going to do that.
True, but to be fair, mate, it depends what incentives they're going to throw at it.
Yeah.
If they really want it to work, they'll probably throw some mega incentives to it to get maybe a nibble. Like you say, it's never going to be what they want, is it? Numbers wise. I mean, before I left work, mate, before Christmas, we were talking about the reserves, and they reckon within the next 5 years it'll be gone, totally gone. Yeah, because the outflows that high and the inflows that low, that come 5 years time, there won't be any reservists left.
Jesus.
So where I'm at now, on a drill night. So if everyone doesn't know, that's a Tuesday and Thursday night. This is what they call drill nights. On average, mate, they have between 2 and 3 people attend, and 2 of them are people that run it and are in charge. So effectively, mate, you've got 1 or 2 bods.
You've got 2 people training 1 person.
Yeah, and I don't think that's unique, mate, to where I am. Obviously, that'll be on the lower end, but that by large seems to be across the board with the reservists. The intake numbers that low, and the outflows that high, that they don't think they'll be there in 5 years' time.
It's madness. It's absolute madness. I think they need to maybe incentivize or advertise that a better way. Going into 2026, though, Andy, are you prepping any differently? Have you got any plans for that? Or what are you expecting to happen? Alien invasions? No.
To be fair, mate, now I've got a Delta 3. I'm kind of hoping we have a power cut. I'm along the lines of Brian Hawkins. To be fair, mate, like I said last year, the only 2 gaps I had was power and was comms. And come to the back end of the year, mate, I pretty much got them both sorted for me. So I kind of feel, probably for the first time in a while, I kind of feel like I'm at a pretty good level prep wise. And I'll probably just keep everything topped up for whatever may come.
Excellent. Steve, going into 2026, anything you're prepping for, expecting to happen, or the World War III time?
Oh,
Elvis portals.
I'm not joining in with that. I'm opting out. Just no. I'm just not having it. Fuck off. I'm got enough much to afford. One shove it. Well, they're still banging the war drums. They're going to keep going for it because I think they want one. Everybody's bloody skint. You know, America might not be 38 trillion in debt. It depends how quick he can sell all that Venezuelan, hooky oil he's just borrowed, nicked, stolen, conquered, acquired.
Liberated, Steve. Liberated.
Look, someone's going to buy it. It'll probably be us, right? And we'll probably borrow the money because we're fucking muppets. Most of Europe skint. It's an age-old thing. When countries are skint, they start looking at who's not skint and think, "Oh, we'll have a go on them." It's just age-old stupid stuff. We're not learning. I'm not particularly worried about it. I don't think I'm going to see Russian paratroopers, dropping out the fucking sky on dodgy Uki Timu parachutes from China or North Korea or something. I do think we'll have some more infrastructure problems because it's getting older. More demand is getting placed on it, and it to me it doesn't matter if it's sabotage, cyber attack. It's falling apart anyway. So if it falls apart through neglect or through attack, it's still down, isn't it? It only depends on how big the damage is and how long the problem goes on for. Apart from upgrading my van suspension and having 40-inch wheels to tackle all the growing freaking potholes. Apart from that, honestly, I think it's just rotate through as normal. Each month, the wife and I pick a topic or an area and look at what we can do to beef it up. Is it more tin food, freeze-dried food, power banks, batteries, water, whatever, work your way through and remember why you're doing it. Don't get bogged down and take in 8 hours of doom and gloom every day because you'll be in a corner dribbling, fucking rocking back and forth. Do your new intake and stay strict with it, and then go do something else. Go do something else.
Excellent. I'm going to retire because Steve owes £1,000 to the swear box now.
Bollocks. Hey, listen. This is my diary, and this is what I'm adopting this year.
He's joined your club, Brian.
Yeah.
Alan, going into 2026, are you going to become a prepper? That's the question.
Probably not, because I still don't really like spam that much, to be honest. And
don't do it, mate. It's expensive.
Yeah, it looks far too expensive for my liking. To be honest, my preparations don't really tend to change from an annual point of view because most of what I do is outdoors. It's seasonally broke up anyway. So my gear layout changes a little bit season to season, but I tend to buy stuff and then keep it for a very, very long time anyway. And very little of my gear ever gets changed out. There's always something on the shopping list. And I think I've said before, I tend to buy summer stuff in the winter and, winter stuff in the summer. So I'm looking at some of the offers just now for summer gear. That's something I kind of do annually, I suppose. On the sort of the home front side, I've got the usual breakdown spreadsheet of finances, which I run through, which I update sort of annually. I do that about this time. See like how much I overspent by and how much debt I'm in, and then try and make it less debt for next year type thing.
Try and swim.
Yeah. I winterize the house a little bit in winter. That's the only because I've been caught out with that a couple of times in this house. I've mentioned that I've only been here a few years, and past couple of years something's happened, and it seems to happen in the winter because I'm on a hill and I get battered by the wind and stuff. When it comes to sort of long-term forecasting of things that I think might happen in the world that could impact me, it's hard to actually predict anything in the world because nobody can. You hear all these people on the news making their long, what's your forecast for 2026? They're never right. They always say, and it always seems to be the thing that's happening right now. So everybody's talking about Venezuela like that'll matter in about a fortnight's time, and it won't. But there's a few things on the horizon that I can see from a global point of view that potentially could affect me in a way. So it's not so much that I'm prepping for them, I'm just watching them. I think there's a couple of bubbles coming down the line. I've always said that I believe there's going to be a severe economic collapse at some point. That could be due to national debt. The silver price is rapidly increasing, which is a bit odd.
Yeah.
And that's an indicator because the silver was artificially deflated for a long time because of something called paper silver, if anybody follows this kind of stuff, which is effectively fake silver. They're selling you notes that are meant to be guaranteed towards silver, but it's not tied to it. There's no silver standard, as it were. It's literally just fake money. And because silver is increased in value, more of this stuff's getting printed, and of course you're going to get a runaway effect. That could set off a bit of a domino effect. But it might not. But that would have some economic influence across the world, even though silver itself isn't a huge commodity. I think the AI bubble might happen. I think that's going to be similar to the .com. AI will be a big thing going forward, but it's way over. What would you call it? A lot of money's went into it from businesses, and I think most of that's going to go bust, just like the .com stuff did. All the crappy companies will go bust, and a few big ones will sort of survive because it's been hyped up so much. So that's going to happen at some point. Even in the places where I work, they're heavily investing in AI, and I'm thinking, this is probably going to just go nowhere. You're going to use it like a chatbot on your phone service, and then fire the secretary, and that'll be that for a few years. But who knows where that's going to go. And the only thing, sort of globally, conflict-wise, China's about to do its new 5-year plan. And the interesting thing about China is when they do these 5-year plans, they actually follow through with them. It's the only country that actually does their 5-year plan. So when they release that, I don't know when. I think it's during the next month or so. I could be wrong, but of the exact date. But I know it happens in 2026. That is worth looking at because that changes the geopolitics for all of the major players in the world, including us. Because there's definitely a shift from the US as being the dominant power in the world to China being the dominant power in the world, I believe. And so it's worth paying attention to what their 5-year plan is.
Yeah, definitely. The AI thing intrigues me. Who's heard of Baba Vanga? Anyone?
Is that the woman who does predictions? Is it?
Yeah, well, she passed away in 1996, but she made a lot of predictions. She got 9/11. She predicted 9/11. She predicted the cursed submarine disaster, Barack Obama's presidency, Indian Ocean tsunami, climate change and floods, and Princess Diana's death. And she'd got all them right. And she died in 1996. She said AI and space exploration predictions for 2025 and beyond include humans exploring Venus, major energy discoveries, and AI taking control. So that's one of her predictions, AI taking control. And Gemini itself says AI is expected to move beyond simple chatbots and become agentic, meaning autonomous systems can plan, act, and adapt with limited human oversight. They predict by the end of 2026, up to 75% of companies may be investing in this type of AI, leading to more AI-driven job displacement concerns. So, I mean, Alan's kind of aired what he thought of that. Brian, AI going into 2026, concerned? I know you love your AI videos and, completely feel abused by them, but carry on.
The thing is, it's a race to the bottom. And what I mean by that is, even though governments and scientists can probably see the inherent dangers with a runaway AI, they'll be scared to pull the plug in case they slow their rate of innovation and acceleration of AI technology and even sentience, perhaps. If they slow down, then some other country might get a military advantage. So even though they can see there's inherent risks, everybody's in a race to the bottom here with this thing. And the countries are all interlinked electrically, comms, in every way, shipping, just-in-time ordering systems. If these things propagate into everyday life, who's to say that they couldn't one day decide that, well, we've got this nasty virus going about the world, it's got 2 legs, and it's humans. Might be a good idea to get rid of that. That's not science fiction. That's not out with the realms of possibility.
I mean,
that's all right, look, because we win, don't we? John Connor won. He beat Skynet. So if that happens, we win. So
I just said that Mike, he'd flood the server banks. It'd be bollocks. he is John Connor.
Sorry, guys, I forgot to charge Skynet.
I'm going to make a video about that.
Is it a concern of you, AI?
You know what, mate? I've never really give it. Like, I've never really looked into it as much as the other guys have. The only thing I've ever thought about AI is, if AI replaces everybody's jobs, then how do the economies roll on? Because if everybody loses the job, how's everyone earning money?
The benefit system,
universal basic income.
But even then, where's that coming from? If every single person's job gets replaced, how do governments make money? Like, and then how does the debt thing, the debt agency that they've all got with each other work? How does all that work? I just don't. I don't understand how it's all going to replace us, and then everyone's just going to be.
Because it
I
won't
know.
matter when it's a centralized digital currency.
We'll all give up YouTube and go to OnlyFans. I'll be Chunky Prepper, right? I'll get the moobs out for a few quid. Mike, you'll probably set shit on fire for a few bucks. Andy, you need to find your niche.
Tigers.
Come and watch me stroke my tiger for £12 a month.
Steve, AI taking over. It's. I mean, a CCTV camera can do your job, so you must already be concerned. You know.
I've been told many times anyone can do my job, and I'm like, well, come on then, fucking hurry up, I can go home. I think in the security industry, it will be a double-edged sword. We saw, some of us are old farts in this game. When CCTV first came out, it replaced a lot of people. I know many people that have lost jobs because a client has decided, CCTV's a shed load cheaper than a physical person, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Well, with the way CCTV monitoring firms work, you'll have one or two people looking at a ton of pictures and monitors on a wall, shed loads of them. They can't watch all of them at the same time. And people are not scared of cameras and CCTV notices. They're not. We're blind to notices now. How many people have got a notice on the door that says no cold callers, political callers, salesmen, and yet you still, hello, have you heard of the Church of Yes, I fuck? Or are you interested in double glazing? You stood in my UPVC porch, you dopey prick. Yes, I'm interested. I've got everything. They still knock on your door. People are just, they're not. And for CCTV to be really effective, you've got to spend a lot of money on it, a lot. Because you cannot go to court with a blurry picture of someone climbing over a fence. That's not going to convict anything. So, employment-wise, I'm not worried. I'm really not. I think it will be a double-edged sword to a lot of people. But to replace everybody and everything and every function, I think that's a Hollywood movie. I really do. I've seen a few podcasts of these incredibly wealthy people predicting the AI will cause all these markets to crash and this, that, and the other. And these were the same people who for the last, 5 years ago, were saying that China's economy was going to crash into nothing and it was going to, ruin the world. I'm still waiting. I'm not a stock market person. I wouldn't know where to begin. I think if people are investing or playing in the stock market, they should do their homework and they probably pay a lot of attention to it. But I think AI is a double-edged sword. Like the internet itself, it can be used for wonderful things, or it can be used to, do some dumb shit. Yeah. So. But you're always going to need people who are good with drills, screwdrivers, and spanners, isn't you? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's
someone's good with their hands.
Not with robots.
Robots.
Alan, you touched on AI briefly, but do you have concerns like that? If it could take over, well, not it take over, but essentially jeopardize a lot of jobs and change the way we live.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've said before that I think AI is pretty much on a par with the nuclear threat. I kind of go between the two as to which one is the most dangerous. Nobody actually knows what the possibility of AI is in the future, not even the people who create it. The people who even make AI, because I listen to like Lex Freeman, where he's got like the top AI guys from OpenAI and stuff on there. They haven't got a bloody Scooby-Doo what the potential of AI is in the future. It's like they're rolling the dice on something. But they're rolling the dice on something that could quite literally overtake the universe in a way. When people talk about AI just now, they're talking about like large language models. They're talking about ChatGPT. That's not AI. It's only 3 years old, and they've already got to that stage. Once AI becomes truly sort of proper AI, then it could be there's a serious potential there for whether it be taking jobs or literally just taking over. I mean, there's lots of different possibilities. The job thing, I mean, yeah, it'll take over crappy jobs. You know, van drivers and stuff. I did that for years. I've been a truck driver for years. All day kind of jobs will eventually go. You know, if you go to San Francisco, every single taxi they've got no driver now. They're basically autonomous driving around. So that is a job that's going to go. But just like stagecoaches drivers, you know, another job will come of that. There'll be jobs in the future based around AI that we don't know anything about just now, because AI has made that possible. I think there'll be more attention on the arts. I think eventually people will get rid of annoyed with the AI slop, and they'll demand real content, and they'll demand real, you know, dancers and singers and all this kind of stuff, and you'll probably see a resurgence in that kind of stuff.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict. The thing, to me, AI is like putting a bullet in the revolver that's already got a bullet in it from the nuclear threat. But the horse is already bolted with it. And like Brian says, it's already a race for countries to try and, you know, get one up on each other. And by the way, I think China's going to win that race, because they have built something ridiculous like 26 nuclear power stations in the past couple of years. I think the US has built one in 30 years. I don't even know how many the UK's built in the past 50 years, probably one as well. You know, AI needs
We still
a
haven't
lot of
finished the one
energy.
that's 10 years overdue. Fuckers.
Yeah, because we've got all this red tape and bureaucracy and crap. The Chinese just power ahead. They just go straight into it, and they're throwing everything at AI just now. And it's not just a case of copy and paste. The Chinese are clever. They might have stole all that technology, but they're building on it as well. So I think they'll win the AI race, and we'll just have to see what happens with that, because the AI won't care about loyalties to China or America or us or anybody else. It'll do its own thing. But what we will see arising for sure in the next year is things like AI autonomous drones and warfare, which will be devastating on the battlefield. That kill bots, you know, swarms of drones that just power into soldiers on battlefields is horrendous. That's a horrific.
Seen it now, yeah.
It's already starting to happen, yeah. So all this fly-by-wire and stuff that you're seeing in Ukraine, all that will disappear, and it'll be kill bots that just fly around the sky and pick their own target.
Scary. Let's go to the comments, because I've relatively ignored them for now. Thank you, Jay the Grey, for becoming a YouTube member near the start of the stream there. Conscription is such a stupid thing from a military perspective, making people that don't want to fight go to war, need to try and inspire people who want to fight for our country. I think I'd agree with it conscription-wise. I like the idea of the military gap year, because it's more like a national service thing. You're not sending any of them kids to war. They're just going to get the training. They're going to get the discipline. And let's be frank, might teach them a bit of bloody respect. Snapdragon says, I pack Snowdrift meds for my partner in his packed lunch each day, just in case he gets stranded as he's diabetic. There you go. That's a good prep to do for anyone that needs that. Alan needs a new kayak, says the Sofa Survivalists. There you go. He doesn't. He needs a new dinghy that doesn't need repumping up. That's all. Philip Hull says, adding depth of preps for me, trying to fill gaps. The less interesting preps for me will need to consciously move towards. Sorry, struggling to trip over my tongue here. My main concern moving forward, AI taking millions of people's jobs, but how far does it go? Because we are the consumer. Without a job, we stop buying. That's exactly the point that Andy was making there, which is very valid. Lauren says, that is one good thing about AI. I dumped some bank statements in it, and it gave me a breakdown of spending. Quite shocking how much I spend on coffee and eating out, and then came up with a plan. I mean, more trusting than me. I don't think I'd dump my bank statements into AI. Argentina has lots of active silver mines. Nobody's talking about that.
I've heard Jay Logan owns all them, by the way.
Oh, that's fine then. That's
exclusive
all right.
for you. Yeah, he owns all the silver mines in Argentina.
Mr. T and Dr. P, Russia, China, North Korea all deliver on their infrastructure projects because they have the same leader in charge all the way through from start to finish, even if it's a 15-year project. We've mentioned this before with our political system. We don't have that. I think we will see a kinetic world war by July 2026. World War was on the cards 2025, Brian. That's what everyone was talking about, and we kind of like are in it with all the different little conflicts going on, and people are saying we are, we aren't. This Baba Vanga also predicted World War III would be 2026. So
Did she though, or is this like Notre Dame, where everything's really vague and you can connect it to anything?
yeah, vaguish.
Yeah.
Well, no, she predicted the European major conflict, and it was exactly timed when the Ukraine happened, and it's massive European instability is the exact words, but they're saying that's World War III. But Brian, going forward, 2026, World War III, is it happening? There's people in the chat that think it is. There's people online that think it is. There's Canadian preppers that think it's happening every day. Where we at?
We have been in a world war by default for the last 5 years, arguably longer, because we've not been out of conflict. But we've got a major shooting war in Europe that we're supplying one side, China, North Korea are supplying the other side. It's just a proxy war by name. We've now got Trump has decided that he's going to become an imperial power and just making land grabs. He has decided to unilaterally and publicly take over a country. That's it. Take it or leave it. That's the world we're living in now. Same person who's said, do you know what? I like the look of Greenland. We need those resources. One way or another, we're going to get them. He said that. I've got to take him at his word. He attacked Iran. They bombed all their nuclear power stations and centrifuges. The thing that stopped the Cold War becoming a hot war and a world war was consistency. We knew what the Russians would do, and they knew what we would do. So you had predictability in both sides, and everybody knew where the line was drawn. That rule book that we all relied on is gone. It's toast. It's been ripped up. Now we've got an unpredictable guy in the White House that nobody knows what he's going to do, but we know what he's done. That makes people nervous. When people get nervous, they make mistakes. So we've got active combat in Europe, unpredictability, live shooting drills in the Taiwanese Strait. You tell me what's going to happen. It would only take one little mistake for that unpredictability to be a hot war. So I think we're very, very close.
Andy, what's your thoughts on that? And if it does end up the case, do you think we'll be dragged into it?
I mean, I've been quite open, mate, on the state of, and I know people don't believe in me. I know people still want to believe that we've got 1,000 Euro fighters and we've got 3 million tanks. I know people still want to believe the MOD figures that get spewed out.
They're getting them figures from Matchbox.
Yeah. So I mean, even if we got through into it, mate, I think we'd probably have enough ammunition, mate, for what, 2 weeks maybe at the most, and that's if we're conservative with it. Like we have not, like if we were well, I don't think there's any appetite, mate, whatsoever to be pulled into it. I think there's still, even though America by and large have pulled out of NATO effectively, haven't they? They're not a NATO member anymore, really. They might be in name, but they're not what it once was. So I think even now we're still over reliant on NATO, and I think their hope, if something does happen, it'll be on the European continent, and they'll shoulder most of the burden of fighting the war.
Yeah. How much do you think that could be improved with a last-minute ramp-up of wartime production? Because obviously when World War II started, it's not like we suddenly had loads of stockpiles. We had to flip factories over the space of weeks and turn them from making cars into tanks and from making pans into shells, you know?
Yeah, we did, mate, but the majority of stuff we got from America, America, mate, are going to give us fuck all if something like that kicks off. And there's so to ramp. To be fair, mate, I see the MOD and I see the British Army in the same state as how Brian sees the power grid. It's been underfunded, neglected, and just not really being cared about for the past what, 3 decades? Same as the power grid, pretty much. It's one of those things where they've just said, "Oh, you know," and to be fair, mate, they've banged on this drum right for the past 30 years. We have the best troops in the world. That in itself, mate, has got them out of a lot of trouble because they've just threw out whenever anything happened. You know, we haven't got the right tanks, and snatch Land Rovers. Unfortunately, lads lose lives in Iraq, but it's all right because we've got the best soldiers in the world. That trope, mate, has been pumped out now for 30 years, and now it's got to the point where everybody of my generation who was in during the GWAT, during the Global War on Terror, is now left or pushing out. You've got nobody left with any experience of that.
Yeah.
And so you've got maximum outflow of all the experienced guys, minimal inflow of people coming in who want to do the job. And like we've all said in here, mate, before, having a professional army who want to be there is the gold standard. That's the best case scenario, which was why we did have the best soldiers in the world at one point.
Yeah.
Backfilling that, mate, with people who don't want to be there is a recipe for disaster anyway.
Yeah.
And that's not going to work. And then you're telling me, right, mate, that if something does kick off in the matter of 2 weeks, we're going to get going all the industry that we've self-sabotaged over the past 3 decades. So steel overnight is going to get ramped back up. All these production things are going to get ramped back up overnight. It's just not going to happen.
No,
it's just not. I'm being realistic. So we'd probably have 2 weeks, mate, at the most, before we just got ran over and trampled through.
Yeah.
Can I
Brian,
briefly jump in on that?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, go for it.
Mars was making buttons. 100%, 2 weeks tops. But to answer how long it would take to ramp up, I work in factories all over the UK and have done for the last 20 years. We have got no industry. My job involves testing cranes, amongst other things, which are predominantly in heavy industry. We don't have any. I can tell you that right now. We don't have any. We've got no steel mills anymore, no strip mills, very few foundries. We build and produce nothing. We import most of it. We'd be lucky to build a fucking corgi car. The only thing we could do would be to pull back to the island that we're on and say, look, we can't fight a conventional war. The last resort is a weapon of last resort. We're going to look after ourselves when nuclear attacks us. That's all we could do. We've got nothing left. We've got no industry. We've got nothing. Sorry to be the bearer of grim news, but that's how it is.
But it's like what Alan was saying yesterday, earlier on about red tape. Even if we wanted to tomorrow ramp up industry and get everything going again, there would be somebody somewhere, mate. When we wanted to ramp up, say we're building missiles or artillery rounds, for example, yeah. Right, we've got a place we want to build this factory, and we'll get them knocked out at a rate of 1,000 a week. Fantastic. Some absolute weirdo, mate, would come along and say there's a lesser spotted gecko in that pond, and you're not building it. And then everyone would be like, "Oh, well, what do we do now? We can't take out the geckos. We'll just let someone, And that's what it would be.
£200 million got put into, what was it, a bat tunnel or something for the train thing, and it never got built. But they still spent £200 million on it somehow for the high speed railway HS2.
Madness. Brian, for your record, in 1990, Corgi moved its manufacturing to China, so we can't even build a Corgi car.
Tell me we've still got Lego factories. Come on.
I don't think Lego was ever made here, was it?
Meccano? Anything?
Nothing.
We're fucked.
Just also, mate, last point on that, mate, as well. Like as you said there, mate, even if we ramped up tomorrow and just started to build everything, where are the skilled people to do it? Like, where are the skilled people to work the cranes? Where are the skilled people to make the steel? Like, it's all good and well saying we'll just ramp it up. But back in World War II, you had skilled people. So if we said, right, well,
and the ordnance was a lot simpler in World War II than what we have now. So it's even more so skilled. It's not something, you'll just do a quick 2-week course and off you go. You're building your shadow storms. It's
all the immigrants are doctors and engineers, though, aren't they?
What's that?
I'll get in first.
We've got 2 million engineers at the ready.
Ready to go, son. Ready to go.
Steve, your monthly preps, you were saying, is World War III one of them?
I'm more worried about the daily fucking invasion coming up the bastard beach.
Okay, let's be careful. We'll carry on.
Listen, militarily, we couldn't fight our way out of a wet paper bag right now, right? We've got phenomenal tier 1 special forces. The entire world knows that, but they are incredibly understaffed. You can't you got this amount over here. You can't put them into a problem this freaking big, right? You spread them too thin. Like Andy said, there's next to no incentives for them to join. There's hardly any incentives for people to stay in. Even when I was surfing, guys would get to their half pension mark and they would make a serious decision if they go in or not. They might get to 17 years and then they go, oh, I may as well just grind out the rest for my pension because otherwise I've just lost this amount or whatever. But recruitment-wise, I don't think it's a great salary for them these days. There's fuck all incentives, and they're a lot more plugged in now. The youngsters coming up, it's not just the BBC and the Sun newspaper. They are plugged in 24/7. So they can get their information from a multitude of sources, like we can, and they just looked at it and gone, "No, you're all right."
Yeah.
I got money selling pictures of me dodgy fucking foot fungus or some shit. And they're looking around, and some of them have got dads and uncles and older brothers, and they're leaving the military, and they see the support they're not getting. They were promised and not getting.
Yeah.
For example, you go to a dentist appointment, you're employed. It's not free anymore. You're still paying, even though you've got to pay your taxes by law.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got right to gripe about it. So gripe about it. So the youngsters coming up, they're seeing this stuff, and they're just like, "No, you're all right. I'm not having it. I'm not joining in." And like Andy said, if you try doing like the gap year or forcing conscription, 1 year, you may learn the basics of your chosen branch, trade, whatever, but you're not going to be a super experienced bod. Experience comes with time. That's the end of it. You can't shortcut it. You can, if you got drafted over to the sandbox. What was a soldier's rotation out there? Tour out there? 6 months, 8 months at a time.
6 months, yeah. 6 months, yeah.
6 months. Then you're home for a certain amount of time, unless things you'd really have to get turned around quick. You're still not getting 5 tours in 1 year here. So, it sounds like it sounds like a paper exercise of they're trying to bring back YTS scheme. Now I know I'm showing I'm an old fart, right? But it really is. You want to get this country moving, you're better off giving them the YTS schemes in something that's usable. And nobody's going to bother bombing the shit out of us. We're ripping our own country apart as it is. They'll just sit back, watch, and, rip the top off a cold and laugh their ass off.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alan, do you think World War III is on the cards? And will that involve NATO and subsequently the UK? Or what's your thoughts on the matter? And then we'll come to the comments, guys. I'm not completely ignoring you. I'm starring a few as I go through.
I think we're already in a global Cold War. We have been for a long time. It's just kind of hotting up a little bit more because we're seeing global powers in the world reorientate themselves. The Americans have pulled away from their interest in Europe, and they're more interested in, they're focusing everything on China. Even all this Venezuela stuff, that's actually just a play against China. Like Trump says he's sorting out his own backyard. What he's actually doing is cutting off a very large, the biggest oil supply in the world going to China, because they were their biggest buyers. And they're also the biggest people. They loaned $50 billion to Venezuela fairly recently, the Chinese. So all that's just a play to cut off that supply. As usual with me, there's lots of nuances to what I think of what anything is really. World wars. I don't really understand what people mean when they say world wars. If you think about the last 2 world wars. First, I would say there's been lots of world wars. The Napoleonic Wars were world wars, a global war, a war that's fought in every part of the globe is a world war, in my opinion. It's just some are more recent than others. Something like the Second World War, where Europe was at war and it globally happened. I just don't see how there's any mechanism for that, because world wars, especially nowadays, aren't fought with how many tanks you've got or how many standing army troops you've got. They're done by economies. The Russian economies. The Italian economy is bigger than the Russian economy. Russia can't even win a war in Ukraine. It's not going to be able to fight the whole of Europe, let alone NATO. How would that ever even get to us? It's impossible for them to even reach us. Sky sort of documentaries with boats aside. I think that kind of stuff is overhyped. It's not like we meet in a field somewhere in the middle of Europe and just battle it out. I don't see a mechanism for that. What I do see though is countries trying to box in huge global areas. So the Chinese will try and box in the Americas, the Indian Ocean, the South Pacific, those kind of places, and the Americans are pushing back on that. The Europeans are trying to box in the Russians. That's what this whole proxy war in Ukraine is about. The Russians are going to try and box in their part of what they see to be their territory in Europe, so that's our kind of conflict there. And you'll see the world break up into bigger chunks. Europe will become more unified. America will do its own thing. BRICS will try and come together. I don't even think the Chinese are actually that friendly with the Russians if you actually look at their politics. The Russians probably think the Chinese might turn on them at any moment, which is entirely possible because the Chinese have got lots of interests in Russia or what we would call Siberia. They actually have their own little conflict there that's never in the news. And there's a whole big thing there to do with trade routes and stuff. And the Chinese aren't suicidal. So they don't want a hot world war. They actually just want to keep selling their crap to us because that's how they benefit. They're not interested in like world domination by military force. They're interested in global dominance by trade because that's how the world is nowadays. So I don't think there's going to be a global hot war in 2026 or anytime soon, to be honest. There's always conflicts somewhere. There's never been a point in history where there hasn't been a conflict. That's just inevitable. That's just a thing that happens. But how we prepare for it, again, it's one of those things where it's kind of like we can't, not really until something actually properly happens.
Cool. All right, let's get the chat opinions. I'll go back a bit further because there was comments I missed before. I just banned somebody. I saw that. I didn't see the comment, so you'll have to fill me in later. My silver bullion coins more than doubled value over the last few years. Never expected that. Yeah, it's insane, the prices of silver. Kane gave 199, said Happy New Year, guys. Thank you very much, Kane. Appreciate that. CDC and social credits. That's that he was talking about when Andy, you were saying what would people do. That's what they'd end up doing. Because when you're born, your birth certificate is currency as to what your income will be based on, says Mark's Adventures. That's an interesting take. Plus, most humans can't deal with doing nothing. Jobs for the masses are their lives. We saw it in COVID, people not going to work and having no life as a result. Yeah, mental health crisis would be through the roof. I'd lose my job to AI, but I'm NHS, so by the time they catch up with technology, I'd be retired. That's about right. Why can't people allow AI for military but ban it in normal corporations, forcing them to keep the jobs for people? It's private industry that push the development of AI. So to take it away from private industry, the military is not going to have the funding to do the same research level that private business would. So that would be why. Indie Stock got Brian coming across more and more AI digital generated YouTube videos. Hard to tell what's real. Yeah, Brian is completely AI.
If I was AI, I'd make myself thinner.
That's what AI would say. AI is like growing an alien seed and seeing what the plant is like, even if it's an invasive species that destroys us. They've no idea what will happen, but are still going to grow the seed. Exactly. And when they like squash that seed into quantum computing, the possibilities are endless. How long does camping gas last in a cupboard? Random out the blue. I'm not sure. As long as it's in a cool, dark place, I imagine it would last quite a while.
Longest I've had these ones, and they've still worked fine, is 5 years. I don't know if they have an actual date on them that says used before then. But
your problem will be wastage of the shell wall. As long as you keep the tanks, say it's one like that, as long as you keep it free of, like, keep it in a dry place. Obviously, it's not going to catch fire. But if the shell wall starts to deteriorate and you get corrosion and loss of section, then you want to get rid of it safely. But it's functionally, it'll last forever.
Yeah. Cool.
I think it does have a date on it randomly, which says 2037.
Yeah, it'll last forever.
That's not bad.
So
That's not bad. Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go.
rice has a date on it as well. Salt has a sell-by
Salt.
date on it. We've gone through this before. Bob and Channel vote Bob for president. The shipping lanes in South China Sea involve the whole world. Talking about how the conflict could potentially kick off. Camping King's BRICS currency has forced America's hand. An arms war and a land grab and oil. Iran will be America and Israel's next target for ownership. There you go. Canada will split this year, says Mark. That's interesting. A civil war split or like part America, that'd be interesting. Logistics is most important element in any conflict. Yep. There we go. Starmer is not protecting special forces from prosecution. Means this will shrink too. Exactly. You're totally unincentivizing everything. If World War III starts, it will be in the Pacific, says Bob. And Scottish Heritage Building Trust have launched a pilot program to teach traditional building skills like stonemasonry. We need more of this. I couldn't agree more. Where's the one gone? Just bear with me. I've got one specially for Andy. There you go. One of the prophetic and symbolic forecasts for 2026 is alien/extraterrestrial contact. Both Baba Vanga and general online speculation suggest 2026 could see a major revelation or increase in discussion around extraterrestrial life and UFO sightings, possibly linked to a large unidentified object entering Earth's vicinity.
Oh, I hope so, mate. I hope
It's
so.
probing time.
I hope so, mate. I really do. I hope she's right on that one.
But
Add a tin of Vaseline to your EDC kit.
so let's Hollywood would tell us the most intelligent species is in the universe want to travel millions of light years just to wipe us out. Do you think that's the case, Andy? Do you think they'd be hostile, or do you think if they're explorers going that far, they'd just want to talk and learn, right?
To be fair, mate, I don't think we've got anything to teach them.
How to fuck up your own planet in 10 easy steps.
I mean, if they come on force, mate, like or en masse, sorry, then it's not good, is it? Like, you don't rock up to someone's front door with 20 of yous. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to end well, is it, for us?
No.
But I mean, to be fair, mate, it can't get any worse than what it is at the current moment. So I'd take a massive spaceship like Independence Day coming to the UK. I'd be like one of those people, gets blown
on
up
the roof.
with a big
You on the
sign,
roof?
and then just takes me out,
You go happy,
Bring back Elvis.
yeah, I'll be one of them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Prepping for aliens, Alan?
Not so much.
The space kind. Let me just throw that out there.
Here we go.
Not so much. I tell you what, though, see if we were to be invaded by aliens that were hostile, I would say that there was more likelihood of those aliens being non-biological. They would be kind of like the AI Borg, as opposed to a biological entity.
Like Transformers, from Cybertron.
Well, it's kind of like the development of AI is inevitable if a species is intelligent enough. Now, if there was a species in the universe that was, say, 1 billion years ahead of us, they would have created AI 1 billion years ago. So the progress of AI at that point would be 1 billion years ahead of what we have now. And it might just be at the point where it's able to now reach us in space. That also kind of explains how they would be able to travel through space,
that length of time,
because they're not biological. And if their entire sole purpose is simply to consume because they require energy or whatever, then it would make sense for them to be hostile. I can't imagine a biological entity being hostile for any other reason than like a kid with an ant project burning ants for fun, but
What kind of skills did you go to? Fuck's sake, that's pretty dark.
you never did that, and all those little rabbits and furry animals and things like that, or was that?
No, we
me?
just
No. I feel there's a story attached here.
Nah.
That's enough from Alan. That's enough from Alan Dharma.
Just burn them all. Burn them all down.
I've got a basement.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
AI aliens. That's what I think's more likely.
AI aliens. There we go. Prepping for AI aliens. Tune into the next video where I tell you how. I have no fucking idea. Steve, aliens, Elvis, interdimensional portals. It's your cup of tea, this.
Power grid can't handle another whiz round from CERN. So if we got it or we fucked it. Just can't handle it, can we? Let's be honest, right? If they turned up, right, this government would say, where are you from? Let us send you billions of money we can't afford. Because of free money. And then these aliens would go, look, we used to do this shit as well. Then we nuked the crap out of ourselves and started again. And then I would come up with something really weird because I'd probably be crapping my pants because there's a freaking alien in front of me. And I would say, is it true there's another world beyond the ice wall? And are we flat? And then they'd either just zap me and atomize me into nothing, or they'd say, take this one. We need to look into this one. Either way, I'd be fucked.
Okay. Fair enough.
Listen, man, if they can come from a gazillion billion miles away, right, fold space and time, bang, and off we go, some Star Trek shit, we ain't winning, are we? So you either got to go out with a bang or you better fall in line. I mean, because there's nothing in the middle. There ain't no French resistance going to happen, is it?
Well, if the AI artificial bots and stuff like Alan's army, we could just EMP ourselves, right? And then Brian's like, oh, yeah, I swear.
Look, I just feel sorry for these tigers, the poor bastard, because someone's got to feed them. But he's been sent to bed while his back door smashed in. I mean, been thoroughly questioned.
Brian, aliens, you've took worse things home on a Friday night, so does it not scare you?
I have no fear. No, I think I'm more thinking along the lines of, if that scenario, it would be like the day the Earth stood still. So the planet is precious. The invasive life form that's killing it, i.e. us, isn't. And I would like to think that they've been watching, hoping that we would change our ways for being such a destructive, warlike, hostile species. And when the time comes that they can see no possible redemption, it's time to clear the planet and give it a chance again. And I don't think that would involve death rays and nuclear bombs. It would be a small vial with a nasty virus to clear the plague of the humans, and we'd be gone. Shit, we try to do it to ourselves every other week. You know what I mean? We're building weapons, biological plagues in labs all over the world. What makes you think that to save the planet, another species might just turn up and drop one in orbit and say, right, you had your chance, you fucked it. Let's see what grows next. Clear the slate.
Okay, there you go. That's that take. UK resilience, man. If there was really an alien cover-up, do you think Trump could have kept quiet about it? Any off-world species capable of interstellar travel would be to the US as we are to the animals in the jungle. There you go. Right, let's get back to planet Earth, shall we? And I mean, last thing on the notes. Last thing for 2026. I want two things, and then we'll go on to winter preps, which is the second part of this, and then we should be done. So we'll go in reverse order. We'll start with you, Alan. 2026 prepping priorities and prepping goals, or survival priorities or survival goals.
Survival priorities. So for me personally, my survival priorities are just to lay things out in more of an order. So even things with like my own channel, I've got a plan in place for a posting order, but that's related to the activities and the things that I do. I'm going to try and broaden my interests more, so I learn more. So I do things that I don't understand. There's no point in me going into the woods anymore and saying this is how you build a fire, because I'm not learning anything and people are bored of that. So I'm going to deliberately do things to challenge myself. I think that's just a generally good idea anyway to do that. And the winter time is one of the most difficult times to do it, like I've said before, because this is the time where the climate is trying to do you the most harm. So it's always a good idea to get out in this kind of time of the year and do stuff. Physical preps type wise, like I say, I don't really I don't hoard stuff. I don't prep stuff that way. Everything I've got, and you know, I might upgrade it a little bit, but not too much.
You'll get suckered into Brian's power bank fetish soon enough. Just give
well,
us
you
time.
know, one of the main things that's holding me back from a lot of stuff is just budget. I mean, that's the case for most people, I think.
Yeah.
If I had a blank check, my house would be covered in solar panels, and I'd have all sorts of Gucci stuff as well. But you know, it's not. So I have to sort of prioritize where I'm at and what I need for now. And like I say, because I seasonally think as opposed to annually think, it's a slow progress for me. You know, I'm more bothered about fixing my car right now than I am about solar panels. You know, that's kind of the way it is.
Priorities, definitely. Steve, prepping priorities and prepping goals for 2026.
Block Brian. He's making me buy shit.
I get so much bad press.
Let me think. Well, financially, I'd like to save a bit more, put a bit more away, because the price of everything's going up every year. It just does, plain and simple. And people have got to learn to stick or to live below their means, because it's not getting any easier. Let me see what else. I'm gonna get to the point. I won't say that like a power or water or whatever solution is complete, because it's never complete. Things always need readdressing, improving, increasing, whatever. But I just take a look at everything I've got and say, right, that'll do for now. You can calm down there. You've got to go and look at this over here, because you've boosted one and neglected another. A lot less social media intake for me personally, because there's so much crap on it. I just can't be bothered trying to educate people anymore. I started doing a Brian, just started blocking people. I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I just get on with it, basically. I'm happy with my workload, to be honest. I'm without getting into all the rest of it, I'm happy with the workload that I've got. My kids are growing. They're still little, but they think they're frigging teenagers. How old can they be before you get? Hey, it's illegal to smack your kids in Wales. Can you chin them in Scotland or parts of England when they get to a certain height or an age? Is that still
Nah,
legal?
we've got wet wipes here as well. The good old days when I get smacked with a ruler at school, and
you can't do
you're
that.
not allowed to do that.
You step out of line.
Well, what qualifications do I have to declare my house a republic? And you can all piss off then. I can do what I want. But have I got to be in something, be like a notoriety, or have I got to buy a Lord Flip-Flop title or something?
Just do what I did with my older son, introduce him to his first kickboxing lesson, and it goes quite rough.
Yeah, you can legally beat the shit out of people then, can't you? How did I forget that? I'll rent somewhere. I can charge people. Right, I've got a business idea. This time next year, Rodders will probably be in the nick. But yeah, there's a few things in mind. Reorganization around the house. Where can I fit more bits and bobs in and the rest of it, and have a clear out and such. But apart from that, really, it's just keep getting on with life and just enjoy it, because you've got to remind yourself why we do these things. Like we said earlier, it's like having decent car insurance or whatever insurance. I just carry on with life, be happy as often as you can, pay your bills as much as you can, and enjoy a bacon sandwich with proper thick bacon in, not this crap you lift it up and you can still fucking see daylight through it. Less chance of you becoming a suicide bomber then.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
Now, if anybody wants me, I'm off down to Dover because I got a big London job on.
Demonetized. Thank you, Steve.
That's it. I've lost it. This tea is a milk gone off again.
Andy, 2026 prepping goals and priorities for you.
I would like I'd probably like a Delta 2, mate, I think. Now I've got the Delta 3, and I'd be quite happy with that. I've got to pick up my 500-watt solar panel from City Plumbing to recharge them, and then I will be pretty happy, mate, on that front. And then I want to get some mesh repeaters, mate, down to where my mum and dad live in Thornaby, which is maybe 12 mile mate from Darlington. And then I know once I get to Darlington, mate, I connect to all yous because Hawkins has got one in Darlington. So as soon as I can reach Darlington, then I can get to use. So my goal this year would be to reach Darlington, and then once I'm there, mate, then I'm pretty much up and running with Mesh Core. So those are my two prep my goals, mate, for this year.
Excellent. Brian, prepping priorities and goals for 2026?
I'm going to do the FREC 3 medic course. So I've done loads of workplace first aid courses and a turbine rescue medic course, but first aid at a higher level and a skill set at a higher level is something that I need to do. It would be beneficial if I could convince some of my family to come with me, but that's not going to happen. So that's skill based. I need to do that this year, and I'll book that. Kit wise, I spent an obscene amount of money last year on shit. So this year I'll try and buy less, but it'll just be trying to accumulate more and stock rotate what I've got, because I've pretty much run out of room again.
So build the second shed is the...
I did float that, but she wasn't for it. I did suggest it. So
that'll cost you 3 Disney trips, that will, mate.
Well, land bunker and storage units it is then, Brian. That's the only solution I can see.
We're not doing Disney this year at all, so she's pretty feral about that. We're doing 2 cruises instead, so that's already kicked her off.
Oh, it's a terrible life. Must be a hard, difficult life.
I think you need a second home, like a holiday home, which is a secret bunker. I think that road for success.
I'm genuinely looking. I tried. It was so close, but it just didn't pan out the last one.
For me, I'm gonna be going into more growing stuff and preserving food and getting all that, because the goal is to get land, and I want to get my green fingers trained as much as possible before I get onto the land. So, try and stop as many learning curves as possible. And then similar to Brian, going down the skills course, I might be interested in doing the same course, Brian. So you'll have to let me know the timings on that. That'd be good to get on. In the chat, what Mr. T and Dr. P said, what would happen if BRICS countries cut us off trade-wise? Their trade in gold currency and produce everything. We have fake money and don't produce much. How does that work for us? It doesn't. It's that's probably is the impending financial collapse that a lot of people are preparing for. John Knox says 2026 prepare for higher prices, especially at the pumps. That's every year. Excuse me. A good solar power bank is on my wish list, says Bob, for his preps. Gadget Gus, good name. To make yourself uncomfortable in a comfortable and convenient world. There you go. I think he's referring to you training in the winter there, Alan.
Jump on the Discord channel. That'll make you pretty uncomfortable pretty fucking quickly.
That's a skill set Brian doesn't need training in. Brian Keane says, am I wrong to worry about storing water, as I have 3 wells around me and a river at the end of my land? And no, make sure you've got filtration. Make sure you know about filtration. Make sure you know what's upstream, what could potentially contaminate that water, if anything. And make sure you're going to be in a position where you can get out to it. Because I've got like rivers very close to me, but I've also got apartment blocks and people and stuff like that. So, risk assessment, Brian. Don't bother, if you don't need to store it and you've got all them sources, then by all means. Brian recently made me buy a cooking set from Temu, says Lorraine Saunders. There you go. Brian.
You know what, right, mate? You know what, Brian? Out of all the videos that we've done accumulatively over the past year, right? I never thought that one would be the one to cause as much controversy.
The jet boil one.
Yeah.
That upset a lot of people. That it genuinely did. I'm not even slating jet boil. It's great kit. I just dared to suggest that I'd rather pay 37 quid rather than 120 quid for something that's largely the same fucking thing.
Jet boil's massively overpriced. That's the only reason I don't have one. It's great. They're good. They work, but they are not worth the money they sell them for. No way.
You've got to think of the longevity as well, though. You're doing an instant test is one thing, but how long have you had your jet boil, Andy?
16 years.
Still working, no problems. I'd like to
I
see the
get
Timu
that.
one in 16 years.
But I get that.
That little stove I had has lasted nearly 10 years or something, and it cost me 10 quid. You know, it
There
takes
you go.
3 times the amount of time to boil water than it does a jet boil, but so what? I'm in the woods anyway. What else have I got
You're
to do?
going into your final battle with a cold brew, and Andy's going to have a hot coffee. Who's going to win?
Yeah.
Let's briefly touch on that, Mike, just for a sec, because the quality, that looking at them hand in hand, there wasn't a great deal difference between them. Not like a 70% price difference. When you've got the two of them hand by hand, side by side, there wasn't a great difference in quality. And ultimately, as long as the thread block and the gas valve and everything allow gas to flow from point A to point B, and you can light the fucking thing, other than that, it's just a receptacle. So how far wrong can you go with that, realistically? And that's
Well,
not taking away anything for jet boil.
On the same front, Brian, why would I have a Delta 2 and a string of lights when I can get a candle for a lot less and it does the same job?
To be honest, though, you'd catch fire with either of them. Let's be blunt. But
Mr. Wildebeest, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, well, power banks is a slightly different thing because there's a lot more things to go wrong. On a jet boil or the Timu clone, what is there to go wrong? I mean, if the cup is physically solid compared to the jet boil one, if the burn chamber lights, even the piezo igniter, that doesn't matter a bollocks because you can still light it with a match if you had to. As long as the actual valve block itself is good quality, the same as a jet boil, I mean, there's nothing to go wrong.
Listen, I've got a summer of camps, like all through the summer with work. I've got one of the cheap Timu ones. I guarantee I'll blow it up at some point, so I'll let you know.
To be fair, mate, that's what we should do, with all our kit. If we want to see how good it is, just send it to Mike. If it survives, then we know it's decent.
But that's not a fair test.
I get some stickers. This has been Mike proofed. This is Mike approved.
It's like a kite mark. It's a shite mark.
It came more like to the CE marking, wouldn't it? Coming from China. To be honest.
A declaration of conformity.
I don't know where these vicious rumors are coming from. Mr. Wildebeest 66 says my main goal is rainwater catchment. Yes, it's definitely water is one of the most under-prepped things amongst the prepping community in the UK because it's difficult to store in mass quantities for a lot of people. But don't neglect it for that reason. Look at filtering, look at options. There's a full map on ukpn.org for free that tells you where boreholes, wells, everything like that is. Even if they were wells from 1800s, it tells you where they are. It might be under somebody's back garden, but it still tells you where they are, and that's all free on ukpn.org, so check that out. Mr. T and Dr. P, I have a USA bacon. It's horrible. Need UK bacon in the USA's. And Indy Scott Bryan, one YouTuber in US compared how much extra solar battery system would cost. Now Trump's tariff wars, extra $7,000 versus $21,000. There you go. Extra $7,000 with the tariffs in place. That's insane. Insane. Going through. Right. Let's go on to. If you've got any comments on the previous topics, I'll still star them. We'll still come back to them, unless it's stupid stuff like that makes no sense. Don't let our wives see it. I need more storage for my freeze dried preps. He's just showing off because he's got multiple freeze dryers. So
Where's this guy live?
Nowhere near us. It's a swim. Right. Winter preps. We need to talk about them briefly. We've done whole firesides on them. So if you want to go into more detail, please, by all means, go and see them. Andy, I'll come to you first. Is this cold snap a concern for you or concerned for other people or other family? Have you made any prep differences, and what have you got in place for winter?
Just the usual stuff, mate. I've got two of the big snow shovels. I've got probably 15 kilos of salt, ice melting salt. That's by and large, mate, the only real thing I have to clear the drive and that type of stuff. And obviously I walk to work now. The only difference is, mate, I've got stuff in the car for Leanne. So I've got your standard stuff in the car, mate, you know, clothes, food, way to keep warm, sleeping bag, just the basic type of stuff covered before, mate. I don't live in an area where I need like anything other than that, really.
Yeah. Okay. So, and does this current cold snap that we've got now concern you at all?
No, the only thing, like, if we had a power cut, mate, on the immediate one, the only thing I wanted that Delta 3 for was to keep my chest freezer going.
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered, mate, about the TV or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? That was solely for that. So, and I've got tons of ways, mate, like we all have, keep ourselves warm, ways to, you know, other ways to keep myself entertained. So, no, I'm not. And to be fair, mate, it's every single year, mate, it's overhyped. Like every single year, mate, they make out like we're going to be like Siberia. And every year, mate, I get a flurry of snow, and everybody, mate, forgets how to drive literally overnight.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So, but no, mate. Other than that, mate, I haven't got anything like that. I don't go overboard with wintertime preps.
Right. Okay. Cool. Steve, winter preps. Obviously, you work in different locations. You must have a bag that takes with you. When it's cold like this, is there anything different?
Yes, I have 2 dogs I take with me now instead of 1.
Cuddle either side.
On a serious note, I double check everything over. So windscreen washer fluid, the antifreeze in the vehicle. I don't let the vehicle go below half a tank anyway. I have jump leads, but I also in the summer I bought one of the self-sorted jumper packs.
Yes.
Booster pack.
That's the one, a booster pack. Well, the other day I double checked that, made sure it's fully charged, and I disconnected the battery from the van and connected the booster, and boom, it works. So very happy. Put it back on charge, put it away. Know that works. Job done. I've got roadside assistance, but at the same time, if you can get yourself up and running, you're not sitting on the side of the road for however long when you can self-recover. So I double checked a few things in there. Make sure there's food in the van, whether that be a ration pack or I keep a small gas cooker in there anyway. Unless I know I'm going to have mains power and I'm being very posh and I take my air fryer with me. Again, Brian made me do it. There's as for bedding and such, I keep a winter sleeping bag in there. But I'm only got a 15-ton duvet as well, because I'm posh and I like to feel pretty sometimes. And plenty of water on board because it's me and the dogs, so you don't want to be running.
Challenge in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. But I just like to go through and check things over, basically. Whereas some things, summertime, I would carry even more water. So just basic maintenance. Double check your tires, tire pressures, your tread depth. It's not an all-wheel drive van. This one is bigger. It's a rear-wheel drive. It's just basic maintenance, and basic maintenance can save you a fortune in garage bills. Clothing wise, I do carry extra layers because sometimes I might be outside for a few hours at a time, or if you're dealing with an incident, who knows how long you're going to be out there, especially cold and wet. I take if I'm away for a week, I take more than a week's worth of food for the dog, because if heaven forbid I need to get to a vet in an emergency, the vet's first port of call is not asking me if I've got dog food, is it?
No.
So you get used to doing these checks after a while, and becomes a normal thing. Some folks like to write it down, give themselves a nice Gucci list to go through. Whatever floats your boat, be happy with it and be proactive.
Yeah, fantastic. Definitely. Alan, winter preps and this current cold snap, does that concern you at all? And would you be doing anything differently? I know you've got to get the car fixed, but I assume you have a car kit.
Yeah. I've got a car kit, and I suppose the only thing I would sort of add to that car kit that I don't have in the summer version of it, I suppose, would be I'm adding kitty litter to it, because somebody was talking to me about traction for wheels. So I'm going to get some of that. I'll put, I'll check the windscreen fluid stuff and all that kind of stuff, and have the scoosh stuff available.
Make
know?
sure you rebox or rebag the cat litter because it comes in them stupid paper bags and the slight bit of moisture, and you'll be tipping out a brick, not cat litter.
I think one prep one winter specific prep I'm actually looking to get probably in the next couple of months, which I've only just remembered, is my wood burning stove. You've seen the one that I've got just now. I've had that for years and it works perfectly well, but you felt the weight of it. It's not light. And the technology for wood burning stoves and tents now has come on so well that they're incredibly lightweight and far more efficient, and they look better than, you know,
especially when you're hiking up and down hills like this.
Yeah, definitely. So I probably will invest in one of them soon, actually, and that's quite a major prep for me, because when you buy that, you know, they cost £400 or £500 for the good ones, and when I get that, that'll last me another 10 years until the technology again maybe does something different. There's lots of winter hot tents that are available now in all different sizes, which again, back when I started getting into sort of winter hot tenting, your options were limited. Nowadays, there's a few companies out there, Pomali and things like that, and One Tigris. They do a fantastic range of hot tents, modern hot tents that are super lightweight and can accommodate the more modern stoves. So anybody that I would say anybody that's looking to get into the outdoors in the wintertime, start looking at that kind of stuff, because like I've mentioned before, if you're camping in the winter for a prolonged period of time, or you're thinking about bugging out in the winter, you need a means to be able to heat that space long term. And whether that's done via solar in some way, or the more practical way with a wood stove, in my opinion, you have to have that in place. So that's a good prep to have. Plus, you can heat a shed with it. You could heat your living room with it, with a bit of DIY and flexi pipe out a window and stuff if you really needed to.
Brian, you can get a log burner in the shed and be a real prepper.
I did think about it. I just don't have space.
Alan, do you have to buy a new one, mate? Because Mike broke your old one on that plug out.
No,
it burst into flames.
Yeah, I set his stove on fire. Yes, terrible person. How long were you waiting to say that, Andy?
Get it written down.
I should just tell them on camera.
Yeah, just get with whiteboard. I've come to you last for a reason, Brian.
How rude.
Because, no, for a good reason. Somebody commented on my winter video saying, it's just a bit of snow, man up, just put a coat on. That's not the point, right? The threat from this winter is not just, I'm getting a bit chilly, I need to warm myself up. As preppers, generally, most of us know how to do that. We could keep ourselves warm, layer clothing, everything like that. That's not the big risk. What's the big risk with a cold winter like this?
A prolonged cold snap represents a strain on the grid. And a strain on the grid represents power cuts for everybody, or at the very least rolling blackouts because of demand restrictions. That is not an unrealistic scenario, because the effects of winter manifest problems, make them worse. So magnify, sorry. You break down in your car 3 miles from home because of a traffic jam. In the summertime, it's an unpleasant walk, right? You're a bit hot and sweaty. You break down in a dual carriageway because nobody can move because of snow and bad weather. That could be potentially lethal.
Yeah.
In the wintertime. And that carries forward to the home. If you've got a prolonged period of inclement weather, cold, poor generation, poor maintenance, our country ticks all the boxes for all that shit right now. We are dependent on the good graces of Europe for power, for shortfalls. So, whilst I hope it doesn't happen, 2010, there was a bad winter and everybody was snowed in their house for 2 weeks. So, the insurance policy for preppers would be that the stuff we talk about year in, that you make sure you've got a means of secondary heating or a tertiary means of heating. Cold kills. There's nothing surer than shit. Cold kills, whether it's in the car or in the home. And for me, that winter magnifies problems tenfold, and we need to be aware of that. God forbid that they're wrong again, because like Andy says quite rightly so, that they get it wrong. Okay, and I plan to drive from point A to point B, no being a car crash. But at some point, I might be in a car crash, so
Yeah.
I will plan. I will plan for that basis, and that's what winter is.
We're long overdue for one as well. I remember the 2010 thing because I was at college at the time, and I remember them saying this is a once in every 10 year, a once in a decade event. It's obviously been far more than a decade. Where's the next one?
In January 2025, we were that from the grid going down the shitter. That. If you've not already looked at it, go and look at a woman called Catherine Porter and her deep dive on it. And actually, the lies and the bullshit that Nesso told after it, that there wasn't a problem, and it came out that we were effectively that from going down the shitter because of the, I'm not going to pronounce the German pronunciation, at Dunkelfeld or whatever it is. We had low wind and cold temperatures for a prolonged period of time. If that happens again, we could be looking at an uncontrolled power outage nationally, and that's a problem.
Yeah, definitely. So for you, Brian, you've got, obviously, we know you have the odd power bank lying around. Have you made anything extra, or have you done any sort of drills and routines ready for this?
The basics should be the car. You get your car serviced November, December. You make sure you've got good tyres November, December. You make sure you get your central heating system or your chimney cleaned November, December, right? Before the winter hits hard. So everything that you want to work, you make sure you maintain it like every other prep. Be that your central heating, be that your car, get it serviced. Make sure you check it and you get somebody else to check it if you're not competent to do it. So for me, I bought another heater. I bought that Mr. Buddy thing that you saw in the video. So I wanted another means of heat in the house in case the central heating packed in, because using electric heating is not a good use of power. And if you're deprived of power, you're deprived of that option as well. So the Mr. Buddy heater was for me a really good value secondary heat source.
Yeah. Excellent. So, I mean, like I say, we have done a full winter Fireside. By all means, go back, look at that. There's loads of tips and tricks and stuff like that in that. I don't think any of us are majorly like going out and maxing out our credit cards for this. It's just about being aware. It's about looking for the warning signs and stuff like that. And one of the best ways to do that is to be on the Discord. If you're not already on the Discord, there's 153 people in here, and you're the one that's not on the Discord. So I'm talking to you. So go and get on the Discord. It's absolutely free. Go and check it out, read the rules and stuff like that, which is just discord.gg/UKPM. So join there. I'm going to go through the comments and then we'll let all these guys go. Brian needs to get a warm because he's not got a wood burner because he's not a proper prepper.
I've got a radiator at my feet, and about an hour ago, I sort of moved my leg and burnt it. That's why I was shouting and swearing more than usual.
It's not me, Andy. It's not me setting fire to things. I've sat here and nothing's burst into flames.
So far.
Maybe preppers just don't have wood stoves. When all you guys get wood stoves, I'm going to have to chuck mine away. I don't like
yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean?
Gatwick Scuba, great news. 2026 plan is to launch Gappy's Adventures YouTube channel about learning new skills at 50 plus years old. Looking forward to that one. We'll get you on a little podcast and do an interview when you get that launch, Gatwick, and we'll get you on a flying start, hopefully, for that one. So looking forward to that. Brian Keane, I prepped this Christmas by putting on a few pounds to get me through the cold snaps. So many jokes. I'm not going to be nasty. So I'm not going to say anything.
You're itching to be nasty. Just fucking do it, Mike. Pull the pin.
Okay, Brian's the most prepped. There you go.
Bastard.
Anyway, so survivalist, yes, but how any temp below 0 is unprecedented according to the major. Yeah, it is a bit ridiculous because it used to be, oh lovely, it's snow, and now it's, oh my god, it's snow, because fear sells. Nick Summit, We were away over the New Year, came back last night, and the inside temperature was 0 degrees C. When it was only -1 outside, a lot of people are freeze to death if we get blackouts in bad winter, spell of -10, etc. Yeah, do you know what? Funnily enough, we had the same thing. So I've just been up in Scotland for a week, and because I'm cheap and tight, I turned all the heating off, all the timers off, everything. I'm not heating the spiders, so everything went off. I took
pipes?
precautions for frozen pipes, so don't worry. You are.
There's that wrong with Mike's pipes.
Hey.
Boom.
It's a conversation for another day. So we got back, and literally the inside temperature of the house was the same as the outside. So, and obviously we've got a little one as well. So I've got a fan heater, one of the cheap fan heaters. You know, that blasts out quick. So that's easy to go into like the kids' room to warm it up before they go to bed. Downstairs, I literally lit 4 candles as well as putting the heating on. And that just is amazing, the difference that made to heat up that room quicker than the rest of the house. And it all did eventually heat up, but just having 4 candles lit in that front room made a massive difference to that one room to warm it up quickly. So Brian's getting out his big one.
That's not the big one.
He's looking for his big one. Oh no. No, don't. Oh. Avert your eyes.
Ta-da! 90 hours apparently.
Well, you need to do a 90-hour video to test it. Mr. Wildebeest, someone suggested removing the old kickboard under cupboards, allow preps to be stored and hidden. That was me. Also, they're there in case if you get a flood, right? That's where the water's going to go and stuff like that. You're replacing kickboards, not entire units. So with that in mind, if you think that could happen, if you're like me and things just happen to you all the time, I've progressed that plan, and now I've got the low slung plastic containers that slide under there with the tins in. A, it's easy to pull them all out at once to load something up, and B, it protects them for any water damage.
You would have sunk Noah's Ark.
Makes you realize how cold it can be inside if nothing is running because of a power cut, blackout, etc. No gas, electricity. Yeah, it does. It's definitely a reality check. You take it for granted that these 4 walls are just going to keep you warm magically. Mark Mad Chickacres, Mark said over the decades UK became complacent in keeping warm. Now it's becoming the norm again. Definitely. They're trying to tax and outlaw chimneys now, and you're going to chimney tax it, and you can't have fires and stuff like that. So it's just as bad as it ever was, I think. I've got a tent and stove. I've got that tent and stove. It's mega. Love it. There you go. Alan, some feedback for you there. Cold houses are also damp houses. Damp kills as much as cold and causes long-term health problems, even in the healthy. Yes, really good point. Thank you, Miss Worm, for that. I don't think there's any major questions jumping out at me after that. If I have, why is the word fork handles being questioned 3 times? What did I miss in the chat?
Oh, nothing, mate. It's that old 2 Ronnie sketch.
When
Brian
fork handles. Yeah.
All right, I got it. There you go. Cheers. Right, there we go. So yeah, that's about it. We'll just go around one last time. Alan, any advice during this cold snap for new preppers, for experienced preppers, for anyone just before we leave?
I think I would just say do a little bit of a sit rep of what you've got and where you're falling short. I mean, everybody kind of knows what they need, so just actually have a genuine look around. Do you know where your water turn off thing is? Have you switched off the outside tap at the inside main so it doesn't freeze and burst and stuff like that? And have you got everything prepared in the garden like I didn't have a couple of years ago for the inevitable windstorms that are going to come? The trampoline pegged down and all this kind of stuff. The winterization of your house is something I think people just kind of ignored until it's winter. And it's the same stuff every year. It's just a case of getting to know your own property and preparing for that individually. You can't, there's no one size fits all when it comes to stuff apart from common sense. But we'll see.
Excellent.
We'll see how cold it gets, but I do think we are overdue a really cold one in the UK at some point. So maybe this is the year. I kind of hope so, to be honest. I love being camping in extreme cold. So the colder the better. But
As
I
long
can
as the grid
see,
survives.
as long as the grid survives, and for people who are homebound, it's definitely a risky part of the year for sure, especially with the low light and the overwhelmed NHS and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Steve, any last advice for anyone regarding winter preps?
Don't eat yellow snow.
Okay, there we go.
I was going to do that.
Sorry, don't brown or red snow. Yeah, just go around your house or wherever you live and whatever vehicle, and if you're in a position to do something about a problem or basic maintenance, then get on and do it, because don't put it off till tomorrow. Because right now, 1 minute they're telling us it's going to be blowing a gale, then it's going to hammer it down, and then the next minute there's snow bomb from the Arctic's coming, and you're like, oh, it changes as quick as you like. So if you're in a position to do something, then do something. That's what I would really say when it comes to winter maintenance.
Excellent, thank you, Andy. Any advice for winter before we go?
I suppose the main thing for me, mate, is don't panic. Panic kills. Look at where you are now before anything does happen. Assess it, take a breath, and whatever your most prominent thing is, give that your most attention, and then go from there.
Excellent, good advice, Brian.
Make a non-bullshit risk assessment of everybody in the house, but pick the youngest or the oldest person, because they're most likely to be at risk should the power go out or the gas fail or whatever, be it for a short term or long term. So how would you look after dear old granny? How would you get her up and down the stairs? How would you heat? She might not be able to move. How would you heat that one room in addition to everything else? So pick the weakest link and see how you would cope with keeping that weakest link alive, basically.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And I think we've said it before, things like this, hopefully it passes, no problems. Use it as that training exercise. Use it as that, test the means and test what you've got. And it might point out them holes in your own preps. The only thing I'm going to add is people talk about their family, their grannies and stuff like that, is it's not going to jeopardize your OPSEC. If you've got an old dear that lives next door and you knock on the door because there's a power cut and you can offer her an extra blanket, you just happen to have an extra blanket. You can offer her a hot cup of tea because you've got a camping stove. Help your neighbors as well, help anyone that you can. It's not going to jeopardize your OPSEC. They're not going to say he made me a cup of tea, so he must be ready for World War III. It's just not the case. All right. So just remember your humanity and help other people as well. Good one there. £50 of prevention is worth £500 worth of cure.
Here we go.
So many jokes here spring to mind. Yes, prevention saves you so much money, doesn't it?
It would have done, yeah.
A lot more than £500.
Yeah, 500,000 over the lifetimes.
Fight me, all of you. With that said, and if there's a blackout, Mike's going to have 27 more kids. We all know this. So, Alan, final thoughts and goodbyes, please, and please mention your channel, The World Survivalist.
Final thoughts would be, if you are looking at getting into being in the outdoors, then don't let the season put you off. You can safely dabble in a little bit of winter camping. It's a great time of year. It's a very nice time of year, and in some ways it's actually easier to camp in the winter as long as you've got a couple of days of stable weather, because you just have the cold to deal with. Just make sure you've got an exit plan. You're only be 10 minutes from your car, and if all goes to hell, you can get in your car and go home type thing. Don't put yourself in any kind of jeopardy. Other than that, I would just say my channel is mostly sort of outdoor based, but I'm going to add a few different elements this year to see how that goes, to try and change things up a little bit. And it's just World Survivalist. So if you're interested in that, check that out.
Awesome. And Miss Worm has just posted the link there for Alan's channel in the chat as well. Steve, you don't have a channel as of yet.
No, I'm not joining the club. It's not out. I got
gonna
enough
happen, it's gonna
stuff
happen.
going on as it is. It ain't. I ain't
Drink
joining-
the fucking Kool-Aid, Steve. Do you want to quickly say your goodbyes and maybe mention the Discord?
Yeah, Discord's for winners. I've learned a lot on there. I was completely new to the Discord app, website, whatever you want to call it. So it takes a little time for if you're a knucklehead like me to get used to it. Lots of different personalities on there. Yeah. But there's a lot of fantastic information on there, and a lot of people are learning on there and undertaking projects. I myself being one of them that we never thought we could do before, and we're coming out on top and sharing that information and the ups and downs of it with the people in there as well, and it's inspiring other people, whether they're putting solar in their house, gardening, health and fitness, mental health stuff. There's a huge array of it, absolute massive array of it, and it's a very welcoming, friendly community. It's for winners, quite simply. And there's what now, about 400 and something, 450
over 400
members
now. Yeah.
And even at stupid o'clock in the morning, there's a few of us nuts on there. Not 400 of us, thank goodness, but there's a few of us still floating about. So get on there and take your time and have a good laugh with it. It's for winners.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate that. Andy, do you want to say goodbyes and mention your channel?
Yeah, so if any of you are worried or if anything happens over this next cold spell, guys, like that Steve just said there, jump on Discord, and if you've got any problems, there's loads of people in there who've got advice and have got ways to help you. I've got 2 channels, guys, the Bombardier, kit reviews, stories about military service and lessons I learned along the way, and Shadows and Sightings, which is about UFOs, ghosts, and all the weird experiences I've had in the military and outside.
Excellent. So 2 good channels there for you to check out from Andy. Both really good content. Brian does something on YouTube. Do you want to mention that shit, Brian?
I dabble a little with bits and pieces. So I tend to concentrate on the lifeblood of society, which would be power, how to mitigate the effects of it going down short term or long term. That's pretty much it. Regarding last thoughts, nothing goes wrong when you've got a wallet full of cash. Nothing goes wrong on a nice summer's day. It generally goes wrong when you're skint, it's pissing for the heavens, blowing a gale, or it's winter time. So just bear that in mind. If something's likely to go wrong, it's usually at the worst possible fucking time. And just try and prep accordingly.
Yep. It's Sod's law, definitely. From me, thank you very much. All my links are below every video. I appreciate all the support through the last year and the upcoming support through all the explosions, burns, and floods that I'm going to go through in 2026. It's really appreciated. A big thank you to all our moderators who have been with us most of the year, including Miss Worm, who this is her book, so go and check that out on Amazon. It's a good read, I'm sure. I've not read it yet. I've just downloaded it, but I will get to it eventually. Andy's got the hard copy that he's about to show us all, I'm sure. So go and check out Miss Worm's book. There you go. Look at that.
Look at the spine of that book. That's never been fucking opened. Look at that. Look, turn that round. There's not a page been opened. Oh,
just at your Kindle version you returned.
I can't read. I'm a dumbass. I've got an excuse.
No, honestly, all the moderators, we've got Evil Girl, we've got Hackins was in there at some point. Obviously, Steve right here is one of the moderators as well. All of these guys really do help out everything, and yeah, very rarely have to ban somebody, but do when it's needed to. So
you can get away with a lot on Discord.
You can get
it is a naughty boys gathering place.
Disclaimer: it's nothing to do with us. Anyway, right. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll be back next week with another Fireside. So see you all then. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
In the glow of embers dance, we've prepared for every chance, living simple, living true, with the dream we all pursue. prepared for every chance, living simple, living true, with the dream we all pursue.
I'm Brian! I'm Brian! I'm Brian! I'm Brian! I'm Brian and so's my wife! Right, take him away and release him. No, I'm only joking. I'm not really Brian.